Hey trainers, Alakaham here with some more Pokemon video magic, and this is just a recording of me playing through my first set of the new season in real time. So the Pokemon Go Battle League season turned over this afternoon, and I have created some Go Battle League teams for my first set that I think are going to help me understand a little bit more through experience about some of the new moves and the move updates. So this is pre-recorded, but I'm doing it all live instead of editing it, so you get kind of my immediate reactions to things. So in this first team, I have Shadow Dusknoir, and Dusknoir now has access to Dynamic Punch. I think that's a really great update, and that's specifically because it really didn't have much in terms of coverage moves before. And now Dynamic Punch gives it offense against its biggest enemies, which would be dark types, of course. And then I have the two Pokemon that are going to be really strong this season. Hopefully all three will be strong this season, but Mandibuzz, just by virtue of it being a dark type that can hit back against some of these ghosts that are going to be improved, as well as the buffs on fighting types last time. Mandibuzz as a dark flying type is going to be really good. Claydol has been improved with the buff on Rock Tomb, and then Jellicent has been powered up because Hex is now going to be a better fast move. On this team, I have Emolga, which benefits from a cost decrease on Discharge, and then Blastoise, which has a new fast move in Rollout that I think is going to be really great. For this team, I'm trying out Grumpig, and I cannot believe that Grumpig is going to be anywhere in the meta, but here we are. Grumpig now has access to Psywave, which is a really good energy generation fast move, and Dynamic Punch to hit back against its opponents. Golisopod can also learn Aqua Jet, which got a boost this season. And then on this last team, it's to test out Lapras. I actually decided not to change my Elite Fast move with Ice Shard. There's some energy generation benefit that comes with Psywave, but Ice Shard still does okay with energy generation, and it still gets stab and does pretty good damage, so I'm not going to undo my Elite TM there. But I did give it Sparkling Aria, a new charge move that's available for the character now. So I have exactly 5 teams that I've built to kind of mess around with this, and I'm just going to go ahead and give you my first battles live. Hopefully this goes okay. Of course, when everyone's unranked or at rank 1, you never really know what kind of opponent you're going to get. And in this case, it looks like maybe someone who doesn't have all that much experience. So that's too bad for a stream like this, right? Because you're hoping that you'll be able to showcase a little bit more. So I'm actually just not going to count battles that go that way. I'm going to try this team again and make sure that I get an actual full game in for you. And if I go past the whole 5 for the first set, then that's okay. Let's go ahead and try this again. Again, rank 1, you could get people who are totally new, or you could get people who are trying to be really competitive already, and it's really up in the air. Okay, we've got a shiny Superior here, so it looks like my opponent has an actual team here. And here we have an example of the new Psywave Lapras. I'm going to go ahead and throw a Cross Chop here. They blocked. And honestly, my best answer to this Lapras right now is probably the Primeape. This is pretty wild. So Psywave, it got to Surf really fast, and I wonder if they have Sparkling Aria. It's good that Psywave is not a stab move for the Lapras, because otherwise that could be really, really bad for me. It would be doing a lot more damage, and unfortunately I don't quite make it to that next Cross Chop. I'm going to go ahead and come in with the Dusknoir, and as a Shadow type, this is gonna hurt if I have to tank something, so They bring back in the Superior, and I'm going to swap to Clodsire. As a poison type, Clodsire should be in a pretty good position against the Superior. Really cool to see the shiny Superior here. And that move still did a lot of damage. So I take neutral damage on the Clodsire from grass types. And I was thinking about maybe building up some extra energy because I know the Lapras is going to come back in, but that I really wanted to get rid of that Superior there. And I'm just going to have to hope, because this Lapras is almost certainly going to take me out here. I'm just going to have to hope that the Dusk Noir has some play in the back. I do have a bit of energy built up, so I'm going to go ahead and finish off the Lapras with a fast move, Astonish, and then my opponent has a Feraligatr. So I'm pretty much at back-to-back Shadow Punches. Feraligator's hard because it does have Shadow Claw, and looks like my Shadow Punches are going to do more than half of the Feraligator's health each. So I don't really need the Dynamic Punch. I'm going to go back to the Shadow Punch, and that's going to be enough to take out the Feraligatr. Really cool to see the Shadow Lapras. Very interesting to see the Psywave and how much energy it generates. Very cool to see their shiny Superior. So good game to my opponent. I'm going to go right into the next game. This one with Mandibuzz, Claydol, and Jellicent. And the idea here is that Rock and Electric are kind of the tough things for Mandibuzz. And then I guess we've got Fairy as well. So this is actually ABA weak to Electric. I don't really like to set up my teams that way most of the time, but this was a way that I could get some of the different Pokemon I wanted to play with in here. Okay, so this was a really bad start for me, and I did tap on my move at the same time. They won the CMP. I'm going to go ahead and shield in case they have Wild Charge, which they do. And, oh, I guess I didn't tap it on time, or it didn't register the tap. I'm going to go ahead and throw this Surf. I am loving how much energy Hex is producing. Hex is working out really well here. And my other Pokemon really don't want anything to do with this Rapidash, so I'm going to shield again. And I'm going to just farm down here and come out with a lot of energy on the Jellicent. Yeah, I was thinking it may be unlikely that they would have a really hard counter to the Jellicent, because it seems like the Rapidash was kind of designed to get rid of, say, Dark types, and I was just kind of predicting there that they wouldn't have a better answer to the Jellicent. So this is really, really good. I did make a mistake there. I should have just gone for a Shadow Ball. So if they Earth Power me, that's okay, but if they go for a Body Slam, that's going to be resisted, so we'll definitely get to that Surf. Oh, and they're running the Water Pulse, which is kind of an unusual move here. I'm going to undercharge just a tad, so I'm going to go to Great instead of Excellent, and hopefully they live. Yeah, looks like they do, and yeah, there they farm me down. That's good. And I'm going to come in with the Mandibuzz and try and get some energy. Looks like they've got a Crustle here, so I'm going to swap into my Ground type. And I honestly don't remember if Crustle... I can only remember Bug and Rock type moves, so hopefully that's all we're going to experience here. Yeah, so those are resisted. That's really good. And I'm going to go ahead and go for this new Rock Tomb. And super effective against Bug. We're going to go ahead and finish off that Gastrodon. So once again, good game to my opponent. Seemed like the Jellicent was a pretty good matchup against most of their team, so I kind of lucked out there. Had I hit an Electric type, that would have been a real problem. I probably would have had to let the Mandibuzz go. Okay, here we've got Emolga on the lead, and its biggest challenge is going to be Rock types, but Ice is also going to be a problem. So I have a Pokemon that can use Grass moves and Pokemon that can use Water moves to help cover those weaknesses. And I'm up against someone who was apparently already rank 4, so we'll see how this goes. A Mr. Mime. How about that? Mr. Mime got a boost with Psywave, but I can also reach Discharge faster now. So Discharge does less damage, but it also costs less, which is pretty cool, and I'm happy about that right now. Mr. Mime is very glassy and basically can't really take a hit from more or less whatever, right? I say that, and then there it is. It takes the discharge that's just been weakened. Okay, so most run Shadow Ball and then maybe Psychic. That means I'm probably going to have to shield anyway. Boy, I really thought I might get away with farming it down there for a second. Okay, we're going to go ahead and shield. Yeah, the Psy Beam, and I did get the rollout through. And then, oh, okay, so they were trying to be tricky for me there. They brought in the Arcanine, the rock fire type there to try and draw out the Hydro Cannon, and then they swapped. So Quillfish is going to be a little tricky because of the access to dark type moves, but I already got to the close combat here, so that does neutral damage to the Quillfish. That's fine. And if I can reach another close combat, then we can really do some damage against the rock typing here on the Arcanine. And there goes the Hisuian Arcanine. So sorry that you didn't get more of a showcase for Blastoise, but you saw how quickly rollouts built up the energy there. So it's reaching Hydro Cannons really fast now, which is very cool. Okay, 2 teams left. This is the Grumpig one. This is also kind of the most haphazardly thrown together team, so hopefully it turns out okay. I guess we're about to see. And found our matchup here. I've got a shiny Grumpig actually, and Grumpig on the lead. Both of my other Pokemon do better against the Excadrill, so I'm going to swap into my Pangoro, and here I'm going to go for a Night Slash, kind of expecting that they've been building up energy so that they're going to want to shield, and we'll see what they do. They do give me the shield. That's great, and we are going to keep going and go for that Night Slash again. Looks like maybe they weren't getting fast moves in. Seems like they might be disconnected or something, so that's too bad. Nope, but they do go ahead and come in with the Swampert, so that's fine. We're gonna keep doing Night Slash. Pangoro got a big boost last season, as I'm sure many of you know. Karate Chop is doing great with damage to energy generation, and they went ahead and let the Night Slash through. I really want to keep the Pangoro. I just got the boost, but for the sake of playing with some of these other Pokemon, I'm going to let the Hydro through. Again, don't know if that was very smart, but now I'm going to bring in the Golisopod, which now has access to the recently boosted Aqua Jet. And we got there at the same time as the X-Scissor. So that gives you a sense of like how much energy it's going to take and what the timing is. And we are able to take out the Swampert with the Aqua Jet, and in the back they have a Greninja. I'm going to let this through because I don't think any one move from the Greninja is actually going to take out the Golisopod, and then I'm going to throw the X-Scissor, which would do super effective damage, Bug against Dark typing here, and hopefully they shield. If they don't, it'll be about game over. They do shield, so I'm going to swap into the Grumpig and try to get to this Dynamic Punch. Fortunately, I have 2 shields here. Psywave not doing all that much damage because, of course, the Greninja is a Dark type, but wow, we've got good energy gain, and we reach Dynamic Punch before Shadow Ball, which I didn't really expect. So how about that? Grumpig doing okay out there. Of course, this is just the first set, so we'll see if I still find Grumpig as accessible later, but it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and claim these rewards, and then I'm going to play one last team, Nice, we get a Mindfu here for the Go Battle reward. I'm just gonna go ahead and catch that. We should be ranking up to rank 2 in just a moment. Okay, 1 to 2, that's a nice start. And I'm going to give you the first battle or so on this next set as well, so that we can look at this last team where I have Lapras. And, you know, maybe some of you are in the same boat as me where you used an Elite TM and you don't really want to go ahead and get rid of that fast move. I think Ice Shard is still going to be okay. Obviously, PV Poke says that Psywave is going to be even better. But here's a case when Psywave would have been better, because we could have done some neutral damage there. I should not have swapped into Malamar. I should have swapped into Chestnut. I was thinking that I just needed to do whatever I could to get my Lapras away from this Azumarill, because Azumarill takes resisted or neutral damage from pretty much everything that that the Lapras was going to throw at it, not thinking about the fact that everything except the fast move on this Malamar is resisted. So I'm just doing everything I can to chip away damage, and it's great that I've got to several charge moves here. If I could get a shield back, that would be wonderful, but it doesn't seem like they're going to let me do it, so that's okay. Given that they had a pretty decent counter to Lapras up front, I'm going to go ahead and bring Lapras back in to try and farm down. 5, 6, okay, I'm barely able to farm down, and I am at the Sparkling Aria. So my opponent brings in a Registeel, and in this case the fast move wouldn't make all that much of a difference, but having this new charge move, Sparkling Aria, seems like it's going to be a pretty good deal here. Unfortunately, Registeel is really difficult for me to keep up with to try and make a catch or something. I can't really count the fast moves, but there I was just guessing that they would wait for me to throw a move to see if I was still in and then do the charge move, and they did do a Focus Blast, so that's fine. And this is really, really not great for us because we are down a shield. This game could have gone a lot better if I used Chestnut, and then they would have brought out the Talonflame, and I could have defeated the Talonflame with the Lapras, and then had some offense against the Azumarill with by using Skull Bash there. So this game is more or less over, although it's interesting that my opponent decided to let the Talonflame go. I'm not going to be able to farm down, although I don't think I would have been able to farm down with the alternate fast move of Psybeam either. It does seem like Psybeam is pretty good for the Lapras. Of course, you saw my opponent in the second game use one. This game was closer than I expected it to be, right, with the damage done from the Lapras there. So I misplayed that, but it was still pretty fun. And I'm sorry to end on a note like that, but this video was just to kind of give you a sense of how these new Pokemon perform and what the energy gains versus damage is like and everything. I find it more helpful to have an actual in-game visual example rather than thinking through it kind of mathematically like some streamers do, or like you would have to figure out by PV Poke. So I hope this was interesting and useful and fun for you. And if you liked this content, I would really appreciate if you gave a like to the video. And of course, subscribe if you like this kind of thing and you want to see more videos like this in the future. I will definitely be having more videos featuring more of these players that have been upgraded for the Might and Mastery season of Go Battle League. And I hope to see you more soon. Until next time, trainers.